Welcome to episode 14?
I don't know.
Welcome to the next episode of the Before Death podcast. We're all here together. We're currently in Sweden. Sweden.
Oh yeah.
Our feet are sore. Our spirits are high. We rode a helicopter today, and now we're about to ride the high through a podcast.
We are.
Ride the high of gamer subs.
I kind of do feel like supping up.
You should sup up.
I made gamer stuff, but I didn't bring it over.
Do you want me to go get it for you?
Sup break.
No.
The only way we're going to be able to make it so I can sup up is someone walks to the car.
Do I need to walk to the car?
You could do a cup of sup. They do have cups.
Oh,
in this place.
you can do cup sup.
No.
Anyway, let's. Where did we last leave off? Who remembers?
Well, we climbed a mountain, glide a pigeon.
Well, that was before.
No,
The
we
thing-
were in.
Nothing important happened before that.
6
mountain.
minutes before.
We were in Oslo.
Yeah, we were in Oslo, and we had to finish a podcast.
No, we weren't in
Talk
Oslo.
about Ireland?
We're in Stockholm.
We were in Stockholm, and we had to finish a podcast because in 6 minutes we had to go to a meetup.
Oh, yeah. And you really opened up about.
Yeah.
No, that was
yeah.
the
That was
BBB.
the
Well, that was in the
BBBs.
BBBs. If you guys want to see it, sign up on the Patreon.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of other great content as well.
Yeah.
He pretty much told us that he is a very emotional man.
Well, we already knew
looking at my
that,
feet.
but
Can't help
he
it,
put
it's
it on
fucking
full
edgy.
display.
Anyway, after I've just seen Paul's feet, let's just move on. We went to a mountain.
This is a foot fetish camera, isn't it?
Yeah. We went to a mountain. Who remembers the mountain?
Hang on.
What?
Before death.
Well, you guys are really out of tone.
I thought we were going to show feet. That's why I was getting ready.
You might-
Everybody inspect the bottoms of our feet. See how delicate and silk-like mine are compared to these two. And then Jared is well on his way to getting some armadillo feet. But
What's wrong? Why is mine not delicate?
because you're Australian, you walk around outside without shoes all the
I've
time.
got
yeah, I'll
beautiful
just callous up.
You guys are freaks. I got to keep this blanket over this.
You know,
'cause
there was a
something's
Christian
gonna
song I used
come
to
out.
sing called Beautiful Feet.
Huh?
There was a Christian song I used to sing called Beautiful Feet.
No, but Christians are also really big into washing feet.
They are, especially prostitutes crying on feet and washing them
What?
Anyway, let's get back on
with
subject.
their own hair. Yeah. We were in Sweden. We went for a ride on those lime things.
Oh yeah, dude, we shredded up Stockholm. That was
That was
sick.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're the most hated people in all of Stockholm.
Yeah.
At least for that
Yeah.
day.
You guys are doing burnouts and skid marks in a gravel park next to the lake where people were
was
trying
not doing
well, no,
skid
I was
marks.
watching.
I was ripping skids.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Everybody hates the scooter rental people in general.
Yeah.
Nobody likes them.
Yeah.
And then they hate them more when they're a bunch of loud foreigners.
Yeah.
Do you think we still have all that footage?
Yes.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
have no
I
idea.
have that footage. Yes, I do.
So Jared lost the GoPro.
I lost my GoPro.
But we'll get to the GoPro loss in a moment. But I've got that footage.
So
Yes,
this
I do.
portion of the trip we like to call the adventure portion of our trip.
Yeah, we went on quite an adventure.
So we had a week in Norway, and our whole objective was to just have as much fun and adventure as much as possible.
And can I say straight off the bat, just from first impressions of arriving in Norway, it was beautiful, amazing.
pretty great.
It's
I
definitely
really liked it.
it made a great first impression, and it held it.
What was the first impression? We crossed the border.
I didn't even know when we crossed the border.
It was when we went in that traffic jam, and then all of a sudden we were in Norway.
Yeah, and I loved it.
Okay. We drove up, did Galdor Piggin.
Yeah,
Gal the pigeon.
Now, it's weird that people recognize me in random locations.
do they? Oh yes, Garden Picken, you were recognised.
The guy that was at the it was like running the
Yeah.
the guides for the climb of the mountain.
No.
Now this mountain, might I add, has a glacier that you have to cross. And I thought, this is going to be some terrifying glacier where we're going to be rock climbing or ice climbing up and
It's called the Ugly Glacier.
Why is it called the ugly?
Well, it's a translation, but it means ugly.
Why is it? Did you think it was ugly?
No, it's not ugly because of how it looks. It's ugly because of its hidden crevasses, which you can fall into and die.
oh yes, that's right.
See.
Yes, ugly means like as in scary, dangerous. Yeah. So I was actually really upset because I thought the glacier was going to be some real terrifying thing, and it was just a part of snow. It was
But
just
we
snow-covered.
were all harnessed together, and it was like kind of that low visibility. It looked really cool.
There was lots of potential for danger, though.
It was.
Yeah, I actually and I don't do this often. I actually told Jared unbuckle and run 50 meters that way and back. And I'll give you $1,000.
And now I really wish I did that.
I wish
'cause
you
then
had told me that because I would have.
Because then I could have bought myself a new GoPro.
Yeah, which we'll get to soon. But no, I first got there and I went to the check-in and he's like, "Oh, you're the Pestily group." I'm like, "Yes, I'm the Pestily group," which is your pseudonym.
Yeah, and I never actually wrote Pestily anyway.
And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Is he actually here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he'll come in soon. Do you want to speak to him?" Oh my goodness.
Michael never said this. He just sent me a WhatsApp message while I was doing a shit saying,
The guy also wasn't British.
Sorry. Oh my goodness, it's Pestily.
sure he wasn't Boston.
No.
So, okay, I might speak about how initially I spent 7 hours listening to these guys talk about chimps.
7 hours? More like
from Chimp
7
Empire.
days.
No, like climbing a mountain
Okay.
during the Three Peaks Challenge. And then there was a conversation for a while about, what was it? It was something else. But the most recent thing they've moved on to is they're all Boston gangsters.
Hey, what are you talking about, Big Polly, huh?
Polly, what are you talking about? Baby J, you tell him what's about.
Hey,
Hey.
Big Dirty Mike, you don't talk like that.
Sorry. Big Dirty Mike.
Hey, Mike, when'd you get so smart, huh?
I've been trying. I've been reading those books.
No more trying, all right?
ABC.
And this
Only
is
gets
what
you
I've
into
been
trouble.
listening to. But the entire conversation of every part of the last couple of hikes. So they don't talk to each other like normal anymore. Michael will do something and then they'll call him stupid and then he'll go into his big Mike voice.
Big Dirty Mike.
He's a big dumb oaf. That's what he is, huh?
Because I've taken on the character in the mob of the big muscle with no brains.
Big Daddy Mike.
Which I wasn't thrilled about taking on because I was enjoying doing the, "Hey, Baby J, what you talking about?" And they're like, "No, Mike, you've got to do the stupid voice." I'm like, okay.
Well, the problem is you went fully into the stupid voice.
I didn't go fully into the
You
stupid
never
voice.
go full Big Mike.
Never go full Big Dirty Mike. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We sent a video to my wife and she said we had terrible Boston accents, so that's fine.
I'm sure plenty of people are going to be writing
Your old lady ever been to Boston, huh?
Nah, my old lady don't know nothing.
That's what I thought.
What a broad. Anyway,
It's literally been my experience of like the last week.
But we have different roles. Jared is kind of like your average, like,
yeah.
decent
Muscle.
muscle.
Yeah.
And then we have the big, strong, dumb muscle. And then I'm kind of like the crackhead. Hey, man, what? You got a little fix for me, huh? Yeah, let me get over there, big guy, huh?
Yeah, and
The unpredictable one.
he accidentally lets secrets out of the bag just for another fix.
Yeah, nah, boss. Come on, give me one more chance. I'm not going to fuck it up this time. I mean it.
We'll call him the weasel.
Yeah. So basically, and then Paul would be the Godfather type fellow.
Yeah.
He's only done the voice once.
I've done it a couple of times.
He did it in the car before. I'd say it 3 times. He's done it.
So basically, these two keep fucking up, and I gotta make sure the boss doesn't kill him.
It's definitely distracting. I tell you that. You're going through a bit of a mental breakdown about climbing up a mountain twice, and then you.
Yo, Baby J. Where's Big Dirty Mike? Hey guys.
But we didn't get into this Boston accent till recently.
Oh, somewhere in Norway.
Somewhere in Norway.
Because remember, we're skipping around a bit, but when we caught up with the Norwegian guys at the boat, you guys were in full accent mode.
Yeah.
That's where I
let's
went
keep
in
the
Boston mode.
timeline consistent.
Yeah.
Let's not jump between timelines.
So we were in Galdhøpiggen,
Yeah.
and we climbed that mountain with the glacier,
Yeah.
which was very upsetting. But the actual mountain itself was cool.
Yep. We had
Couldn't
that-
see anything.
What was the place that we were actually staying?
The lodge.
that
I don't
was my most miserable climb so far.
That was the most miserable climb? Why?
Because I got really wet right away, and then I got really cold, and I couldn't warm up because we were walking so slow.
Oh, wow.
We were walking
That was like my
big, dirty
pace.
Mike
That's-
pace, yeah.
That was my favorite climb because they had us tied to like 30 other people that had to walk my pace. And I
was
was
Some of them were 70.
Yeah. There was a lady that was really old.
well, she was 53.
No. There was like the short old lady.
Oh, her.
She didn't go all the way. I think.
Are you sure?
I think they had to take her back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she turned around. She was in the backpack with me because I was at first hiking in the back.
Yep.
And they turned a group around.
Oh, wow.
Did they really?
Well, who took them back?
Just went back by themselves. It was before the glacier.
Okay.
Oh.
It was like way before the glacier.
Yeah.
We only do really hard mountains that 70-year-olds can't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just
it was
53-year-old
But
smokers.
we had friends come and meet us.
yes.
Hallis.
We've skipped a little bit in the timeline. We did the meetup. And
Yeah,
there
which was great.
Alvin.
Alvin.
And he was telling us how he was going to do it like a few days after us. But there was Hallis there he did it with us.
Yeah. You hear that, Alvin?
Hallis
did it
brought
with
his
us.
whole family.
But
Yeah.
Alvin, he actually did it a few days later and then sent us photos about how beautiful it looked at the top, which it actually did look beautiful.
We couldn't see anything the entire trek up.
Well-
we could only see about 10 meters in front of us.
That was the start of Evil Mike too, where Mike did his full character arc, and he started calling people Gollum.
Do you know where I think it? Do you know where I think it started?
Started using your
wow.
powers for evil.
In Denmark, when he called that lady an alcoholic.
Yeah, that.
Oh, yeah.
But we still
Stop.
talked about that. But I think it probably got solidified when I went into that burger place and that woman was just like, I can't give you any more tables. But I'm like, but there's a whole outside place. And I think I started to let the evil come out of it.
Well, this is where it comes into play about
So it made you snap.
Europe not tipping. And I'm not advocating tipping or not. I do come from a tipping culture. I like the not tipping. I think that probably is better. But they have no incentive to help you.
Yeah.
So
Well,
why would they give a fuck?
We were going
if
to
you
give
wanna
them
eat
like
outside?
14 people worth of food.
Doesn't change her. Penny.
Yeah, she's still getting paid the same whether she serves one person or 50. It's
But generally, the best
actually easier for her.
way for a business to be successful is word of mouth. And
Why does the server care about word of mouth?
Yeah, she
She
doesn't.
wants-
She doesn't plan to work there. She doesn't have own it or like
She's
stock.
probably-
What if
Yeah,
it was
there
her
for like 6
dream
more months.
to be the maitre d' of that place? To run.
Well, then she maybe would have let us sit outside, but I don't think it was her dream.
No. Anyway, we basically rocked up unannounced with it was like 14 people rocked up.
it
And
was
they're like,
17 in the end.
we need 17 seats. And they're just like, we don't have room.
Yeah, there was a whole outdoor area with like perfectly like fine for us.
And she's like, I can't give you that because I can't give you a waiter outside. And I was like, oh, I can go in and we can grab our own stuff. Like we can take it away. And tried to show some of the charm. Wasn't having a bar of it. But then about 2 other waiters really tried to help out and they sorted it out for us.
They still didn't like us though.
Oh, probably not.
That guy, he was kind of he did do his part, but
Yeah, but we were in and out. In
they
like
definitely
half
gave
an
us
hour.
our bill real quick.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
when
we
had
kept
the-
it moving.
We had the special milkshake.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Speaking of Oslo, let's talk about Oslo. Oslo's a really cute city.
Beautiful.
It's cool.
Yeah, and it's not too big. So it's a nice size city.
They have those saunas on the fjord.
Yeah, they have like floating saunas.
I wanted to go in one.
I am so enthralled by that idea.
We haven't really done a proper sauna sesh.
No, we tried one.
We did one.
In that where kids kept coming into it and it felt weird.
But we were there for like 20 minutes.
how is that not a proper
That's
sauna
proper
sesh?
sauna sesh.
Well,
Well, we're gonna do one tonight. we have a sauna. in this
we
apartment.
haven't done a proper men-only sauna.
We should do a BB.
Are we doing a
Yeah.
naked one?
We'll film it on a phone.
Are you going full naked in it?
I might.
for the
We might.
BBBs. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to probably film it from a phone, but we can do it.
yeah.
We could have the camera outside. It's a glass window.
It's all you can't see anything. We'd have to get some really bright lights.
Anyway, Oslo, Opera House. It was great. We had some ice cream. People taught us how to swear. You saw a boat that we wanted to buy.
Yes.
There was a whole bunch of stuff that happened.
House cook.
I met
House to cook.
some cool scapers,
What escapers?
runescapers.
You met some runescapers. All of the people that came to meet us worked in IT.
yeah.
Really, all of them.
Or,
About
or
a good-
lumberjacks.
a good
Well,
6 of
except
them.
for Oven, who's a lumberjack.
yeah, Jared, you're
that
fired, by the
motherfucker
way.
was trying to
Oh,
replace
another
me.
guy is an entrepreneur and he's going to be.
Anyway, we don't even run through the list of
What's an
everyone that was
entrepreneur?
there.
What kind of entrepreneur? I know what they are, but
So basically, he creates ideas, gets them funded,
yeah, but
and then
what's-
people buy it.
What's his latest idea?
Entrepreneur
wanna
is not
say
a
it,
real
but
job.
I don't know if I can actually say it, but he's created.
Did he
an
make you
app.
sign an NDA?
No,
Then
he's
you can say
created an app which it gets people more together, but more about with things that you do. So, for example, if you have an interest in,
Is it called Wholesome?
No, because that's what you've got. I've heard that one before, and I love it. He's got an app. So basically, for example, if people are interested in the activity of tennis, you can kind of go into that, find people that want to meet up or play games, and then they play tennis. There's a lot of other things. If people are interested in kayaking, you search
So
that.
he invented an app that's basically like a Facebook group, or
Yeah.
okay, cool. So then after,
Hey, I loved him. He's got a lot of passion in him, and as much as you can make fun, he'll probably go a lot further.
no,
than all
I'm
of
just
us.
joking. All those
I think
guys
that's
are really
actually
cool.
a great idea because I don't have a Facebook, and I the only thing I feel like I miss out on is Facebook Marketplace.
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like it's a very valuable source to have, and I don't have access to it.
Yeah.
And then also communities.
Yeah. So it's a way to find communities in your area of things you want to be part of, but there's also an accountability thing. So you can't just say you're going to do something, then you flake out. You've actually got to rock up. You've actually got to,
But
be
the
verified.
thing is, you could just make a Facebook, and it'd probably be way easier than downloading this app and trying to figure out how to use this app and trying.
I'm
to see
sure
if
the
there's
app's
any
not that
users.
difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure the
No,
app
I'm
would be
pretty
easier
sure it's
to
easier.
use.
What am I
Facebook's
interested
very
in?
intimidating
I'm
now.
interested
There's
in
so
that.
much to it. Why do we still call? Isn't it Meta now?
Oh yeah, it's Meta.
Does it actually say Meta on like the
the
front
logo's
page?
still an F. The logo's still an F.
Now I'm already confused. I would use the app.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, point for that guy.
Yeah.
We'll use his app.
So I hope he does really well. He's heading off to America soon to get all sorts of stuff done. So good on him. Yeah. But no, we met up. We went to Glopple Pickin. We arrived. We met the guy who was very excited to meet us. We went on the climb with the twins and the brother. We made a friend who was 20 years old, Tay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
This is where Michael's evil arc came out.
Yep.
it really did come out. Let me talk about Hallis though. I love Hallis.
Hallis is fantastic.
Hallis has been a
And
long
his
time viewer of
family.
mine and Pest. Fantastic guy, and he was one of the main reasons I was excited about going to Norway.
Yeah.
Other than like you hear great things about Norway, but I was like, I got to see my boy Hallis.
Were you excited to meet Morin and Martin as well? The twins? I was very excited.
So Hallis comes and he's also like, I'm going to bring my brother and sister, which I didn't know were twins. It's like a twin group, and they came up. Fantastic family, very nice people.
Yeah.
I think the sister didn't like us or want to be around us.
Yeah.
and
I
thought
wonder
we were
why.
kind of weird. And then the brother really fit in. He
Martin
Martin. He was really great.
Martin, huh?
Hey, Martin,
Martin, what are you talking
Hope
about?
you doing all right, Martin.
Where's Morin?
Keep on coding.
So the reason why the sister didn't like us was why.
Well,
Anyone want to take this one?
I'll take this one. As we've said, Big Dirty Mike can sometimes, usually he'll really grab you and make you feel welcome and draw out some inner feelings, but sometimes he can just come off as an asshole.
Yeah,
Condescending.
Yeah,
condescending
and
assholes that
so we have this like
piece of shit.
this nice young lady, Hallis' sister, and at some point, I wasn't there when it first came up, but apparently Big Dirty Mike was all like, you look like Gollum.
It wasn't like that, but okay.
Oh, what was it like? then?
How was it?
So
How
it was-
did you
do you
tell this
remember- do you
woman
remember
that she
the-
looks like Gollum?
Do you remember the eye flick? That thing that you guys kind of
Yes, the
explained?
neg.
So I was talking to...
So you're trying to hit on her?
No, she's got a partner. I would never hit on someone without a partner. I'm talking to her brother who's single, Martin, and I was saying, how are you single? Like, look at you've beautiful siblings. Look at your hair.
Fantastic
Look
hair,
at your thick
yeah.
hair. And I'm like, you've all got such beautiful eyes. And I'm like, except, Martin, you look a little bit like Gollum. Like as a throwaway flicking, it was like a laughing thing. And then the boys sunk their teeth into that, and it was just like he beat down the door and was like, "This bitch looks like Gollum." That wasn't the case at all. It was more of like a
So he said she looks like Gollum to her face.
yeah, 100%.
Name one woman in the world that would be happy for you to say that.
In a joking way, my wife would love it. I don't know. Women don't want to be fawned over and be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." You throw them a bit of an insult just to have a bit of fun.
No woman wants to look like Gollum. No person wants to look like Gollum.
If you're one of the very few women that watch this podcast, and you'd be happy to be,
So you guys
or know someone who'd be happy
So
to
you
be
honestly-
called Gollum,
so the-
please write in the comments below, and I would happily say I'm wrong in saying this,
So
but there's
obviously,
no woman
I
in the
didn't
world.
think she looked like Gollum. It was one of those things as a joke that you say to kind of catch
Just
you
like,
off guard. Because I'm sitting.
You're ugly. It's a joke.
By the way, she
Yeah.
wasn't ugly.
No, she was beautiful, and she's got
You need to stop
she's got the
talking.
most piercing eyes compared to the two brothers, and one of them's a twin as well. But again, it's one of those things where it's just like you throw it in there to catch people off guard. It's like you're complimenting everyone. Oh, and you look like Gollum.
Nope.
So
You cannot say that to. No.
I'm going to continue saying it to every woman I meet now.
Well, Michael, usually your techniques work. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on
Yeah,
this
right.
one, but it was a little
Not to
off
walk around
color.
calling everyone
But in
fat.
saying that, Martin, oh no, don't say they're fat. That's a horrible thing to say. You're an idiot. The fact is that her brother Martin does have fantastic hair. So,
He does.
Yeah.
I really like Martin. He played RuneScape too.
Yeah.
You also called Morin a moron.
Yeah, but that was funny. It was a play on the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it was like, then there was also Tay Tay there.
Oh, Tay, what a winner.
The 20-year-old.
Yeah, she's about to join the army. She's
military.
traveling by herself. She's got a young sister that she's finally able to relate to.
And what did you ask her?
No, she asked me first. So we were climbing down and she's like, have you done a wee yet? Because we were at the back of the line. And I was like, no, I've never done a wee. No, I've done my wee. And she's like, have you? And she's like, no, it's a bit hard for me to do a wee. And then we got chatting about camping and things, how easier for boys to do stuff as well. And then I was like, I've never done a bush poo or a poo in the wilderness. Have you ever done a poo in the wilderness? And she's like, no, I haven't.
Do I look like a person that would do a poo?
Do I look like a person? But you guys took that as like I blatantly came out to her and was like, have you ever done a shit outside?
Well, because then you brought it up at dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring her into the
Like
conversation.
multiple times.
To bring her into the conversation.
Well, what I thought was really interesting is someone got to asking her about like what kind of training are you doing for the military? And she was just bringing up like the things she does and kind of like the physical requirements. And she said that she could do one pull-up.
Yep.
And then someone, 3/4 of a bottle of wine deep.
I felt like it was 4/4 of a bottle of wine deep at that point.
Yeah. Claimed that they could do 5 in a row.
I don't remember saying in a row.
There's only
I
one of
definitely
us
said
that
5.
drinks wine regularly.
I could do 5 in my lifetime.
That was also a $100 bottle of wine.
That's $65.
We got the room for free.
Yeah. You guys you seem to brush over the important part of the story.
All right. Michael also used his charm to get us a fantastic deal on the accommodation, but the people were just lovely. So
Yeah, they were.
They really were.
We got a
The
free
people that
room.
ran
We
that
just had
hut
to pay
were
for food.
amazing.
it was a 5th generation owned.
Yep.
The not current owner, he just passed it down to his son.
Yep.
But that guy, he hiked it 2,200 times the mountain. Yeah.
Wow.
The guy that knew me was had done 600 guides.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
2,500.
I don't know how guides do that. Why would you want to go up the mountain 600
Maybe because
times?
it's your job and you have
They
to
might
do
pay
it.
well.
No, it doesn't. The Nepalese guy doesn't want to do guiding. He just wants to stay inside.
No, but like in the peak period where they said they take like 200 people up at a time, that's $4,000 a day they make.
Wow. There you go. I'm in the wrong industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they charge beers and equipment hire and
Yeah. Accommodation.
yeah.
It's full on business.
We need to start a hostel.
Wings?
Yeah, I'm in. Near a mountain with a helicopter and a boat.
Helicopter, I'm in.
Done.
Okay.
All right, Christina.
Wings.
Put it on the list.
So then we started our Norway adventure.
Yeah.
We ate caribou first. I'll mention that. It was delicious.
We also saw a caribou before we ate it.
No.
No.
No, we didn't? Where did we eat caribou? Oh, at the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So we started heading up and we had our first night of camping. So we made it past the Great Ocean,
What a place.
Great Atlantic Ocean, Eastern,
You skipped something,
Southern,
Jared.
What did we
Southern
skip?
Western Highway.
The Indiana Jones Bridge.
The
what?
Indiana Jones
Indiana
Bridge.
Jones Bridge.
Oh yeah.
I wish I jumped in that water.
I'm really overall. Let's touch on that briefly. So Pest, when we got to Norway, Pest was very excited about Norway, and for good reason. It was amazing.
And not just Norway, but go on.
Go on.
No, I'm excited to hear I think he's going on what I'm thinking.
But Pest had come up with this thing, and he had talked about it multiple times before we got there. He's like, every body of water in Norway, I want to get into, and I want to jump into. And he's like, and it'll be like this thing while we're in Norway. I'm just jumping in this body of water, this lake, this river, this everything. I think he got in like 2.
1.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
He
the
jumped
second.
in 1. Jared and I jumped in.
But at the same time, I'm not blaming him because a lot of it was stagnant. and-
Mosquitoes.
yeah. Oh,
The mosquitoes
gosh, the
aren't in the
mosquitoes
water.
were.
Like the mosquitoes aren't in the water.
No, but
But you have
it's
to
a
get
lake.
naked to get in water.
I did, yeah, and
Well, not naked. But,
Lake
you
water
gotta
is
strip
not
down.
considered stagnant.
yeah,
actually, I did get in a second. The rapids.
true.
Oh yeah.
Sorry then.
No, the guy said that we were driving along and we saw this rope bridge. Like it was like a rope wire bridge and it looked dodgy as fuck. So I instantly stopped, turned around the car, went back to it. We were actually doing a Patreon call at the same time.
Yeah,
You
it was a
were,
which was
Patreon call for all of our patrons.
Yeah, it was decided that we were going to give a little bit of slice of heaven to everyone.
And we get out and we start walking across this rope bridge and I'm like, I want to jump in. And the water was really moving. And that was the only reason. I don't think the cold would have been that bad. It was the fact that it was
Cole would have done me.
I think you
Really
would have
moving.
done it. I think it's probably smart you didn't, but I think you would have been fine.
I think so too.
Jared, your thoughts? Because you've bit back your breath there.
Oh, I was just saying, I think it was like pretty telling when we met our friend Reese, who is the guy that took us kayaking or whitewater rafting.
Reese was also too scared to take his kayak off that waterfall.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't want
Reese.
someone. he could have took a good look at our group, and he didn't want anyone to die.
Yeah.
But
wanna
we
go
told
below.
him that we were going to jump in Paul's idea to jump in this fast moving glacial runoff water without a wetsuit or anything like that. And he said that would be a terrible idea. And a lot of people go into shock and drown.
But
And not saying you would have gone into shock, but it was a
caught me.
very fast moving river.
And it was glacial
and
water.
It
which
was
is
very cold. And when the water's moving, it sucks the heat from you a lot faster. And I don't know, would have been dangerous. Probably would have been great content, but would have been really dangerous.
I'd be
as
dead,
well.
rich, dead content.
I'd be rich.
Yeah.
They don't get it.
They don't need to. But no, we didn't do that. But we went across the bridge a couple of times.
The bridge was really, really cool. It wasn't just like a rope bridge. It was like a rope bridge with like dilapidated planks, things hanging off, major gaps. It was barely
It
hanging
was like
on.
one of those movies your leg goes through and it's the camera shot underneath. They're looking down. There's,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, exactly.
there's crocodiles underneath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except for crocodiles, it was glacial water that's
Yeah.
moving very rapidly.
Yeah.
It was moving rapidly.
Yeah. But no, we didn't do that. We moved on and we saw some troll stuff. We saw the troll
Yeah,
peaks.
we went down like the Troll Valley, Troll Mountains. I don't know what it is, but like it was sick.
Yeah.
Pretty much like any super, cool view of Norway you've seen. Besides the big rock that everybody goes to in Norway. We didn't go to that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I'm not mad.
Or Trolltunga, sorry.
We did see that big waterfall, one of the most scenic drive waterfalls.
Yeah,
things.
some super scenic drive through the Troll Mountains. This like zigzag road up this massive waterfall, and you just have giant rocky mountains on either side. We saw the Troll Wall, which if you guys have seen the Troll movie that came out last year, when the girl climbs up with her dad and they look out and he tells her that she has to believe with her heart, and then she can see the faces of the trolls that are stuck in the wall after the wedding. It's that wall. We saw that in person. I was so excited. Everybody else was very confused why I was so fascinated.
I got very confused when you're like, have you seen Trolls? And I'm like, you mean the kids movie with, the trolls? The little colourful ones, they sing songs, Justin Timberlake's in it, and you're like, no, it's not that one. So, because I
I haven't seen
those
either.
ones. They're good movies.
I'm not recommending anybody watch that, but if they have,
But yeah, Norway is very scenic.
gorgeous.
And I was really hyped at this moment.
Yeah.
And then we were heading towards what I had anticipated as one of the most exciting parts of the journey for me.
He had talked about this a lot. And
He
he'd
had
shown
talked
me
about
many
this
pictures of the
for
same bridge.
months.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was under the impression, okay, background story, I'm from Australia and I grew up in a place called Geelong, and just out of Geelong is called the Great Ocean Road. And it's like this windy road along cliff edges, and there's like the 12 Apostles, which is like these just rocks sticking out of the ocean. And it's really scenic. And I'd been always wanted to go to do this Great Western Atlantic Drive, and it was saying there was stuff written like it's the most picturesque drive in the world, the best drive in the world, voted by National Geographic or some shit. And I'm like, sweet, like 100 kilometers of like epic roadway along the ocean. And we get there, and it's about half a dozen bridges over about maybe a 6 kilometer stretch.
Yeah, not even that.
And it's just RV central.
Yeah. There's a big touristy spot.
Like there was a couple of cool bridges.
There was two
like this
cool bendy ones
Archie Bendy Bridge.
that went for about 30 seconds each bridge.
And I was just sad.
You went into a shell, and I thought you were about to take this car off a bridge.
You could feel the disappointment and
The sadness.
I was having a pretty decent time with it,
Yeah.
but like it was drained out of him.
To me, I'm like, I'm going to be driving along the coast for like an hour, and I'm just going to be like, wow, this is just amazingly beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was the opposite.
Because there were people everywhere. And then you were like, I hate people.
Yeah.
Which is going to be really hard because our next video coming out is going to be about people.
No, it's not our next one. It's ages away, but
Doesn't matter. The next one we're currently doing stuff for.
But yeah, Paul went into this thing where he was just like, I want to not be around anyone anymore. I just want to go out into the country. And then we went and stayed with some of his viewers.
Yeah, people.
well, we technically camped on the tongue first.
Yeah,
we
camped
did camp on the tongue. Oh,
So
let's talk
we
about
walked out to the
tongue.
And we lost all the footage for this.
That's all right. No, we've got phone
Well,
footage
to be
still.
fair, I only took about 3 videos and they weren't that great anyway.
Yeah, you threw a
I'm
GoPro
sure he
into the
probably
water
took
with me.
one when he was
swimming.
bathing in the morning.
So
Yeah.
one of the laws
When I
in
was swimming
Norway states that you can camp anywhere on public land as long as it's at least 150 meters away from private land. or if it's private land, it has to be like a forest, but you can't spend more than a couple of days there or something. Either way, you can pretty much camp wherever you want as long as it looks kind of rural. And so we just found this place that just looked like it'd be a rural place, and
How long was the hike to get there? Like,
about 2K.
yeah,
Took about 20 minutes.
yeah, it was great. And you just come out, open up to this big lake, and there's a little
A scout camp.
it's a scout camp.
It's a cabin.
Let's describe it
there's
a little more, yeah.
zip line.
Yeah.
Jared found this. We knew the area we wanted to camp in, and Pest had asked Jared to like look into it. So Jared was like looking at the map, and he found this lake, and it has this like peninsula going out into the middle of the lake. We said it might have looked like something besides a tongue, and we were like, we got to camp on the tip of that tongue. So yeah, we showed up there, and what was the apparently Norway also has a program that's what is the Get Out thing?
Get out.
Yeah,
But what
it
was the
translates
Norwegian?
to get out, sick ut or something.
Yeah.
But it's basically an initiative to get people outside. I just briefly read it, so I don't know the details. But
Whereas we originally thought it was like,
Stay out.
yeah,
Yeah.
be gone.
But it was pretty cool because it was like apparently kind of like a scout camp kind of thing they can get to. They had a couple of buildings there, which we didn't stay in because I think you can reserve it. We didn't reserve it, so we camped out. And I spent a solid amount of time trying to find any way I could to steal one of those canoes. But they had them all chained up, and I was not trying to break any laws. I was just really hoping that there'd be
A loose one.
a loose one, and there wasn't. But it was still overall just an awesome experience. So they had a little fire pit. We got to make a fire because fires are very, very much,
Prohibited unless they're in a fire pit.
unless they're in a fire pit.
we cooked some ramen.
Oh, the ramen.
The ramen was good.
We had some
And then
sandwiches.
we had some sandwiches, and we also had a bunch of beers. So we were drinking
Yeah.
beers, and we said we're gonna stay up late, and once it gets dark, then we're gonna wait probably another hour or so to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
So we stayed up and we stayed up and we stayed up, and it never got dark.
No, it was like two.
Let's
almost
just,
two-
I knew somebody's going, let me question that. Listen, we knew that there was a very low chance of Northern Lights, but we're in the Arctic, or almost in the Arctic Circle. Let us believe.
We're with
We
the
wanted to
boys.
believe.
You got it with the boys having a great time.
Exactly.
Magic can happen.
So these guys sunk like a dozen beers between them.
Pretty sure you two had 4 each. Or
I
you-
was asleep by like 11.
Yeah. It was great. It was good. It was good. I had a good sleep that night.
I was up at like 5:30. I went for a swim.
Yeah. Then I went for a swim.
Made a fire again. Made some coffee.
Great coffee.
Yeah,
We had some
Instant
sandwiches
coffee.
again.
we had some breakfast sandwiches, which are just sandwiches, but we eat them for breakfast. And then we hiked out of there.
Yeah, we
and
did.
Went up to see the boys.
Yeah, we went to the cabin. Now, when you get invited out to a cabin, this is a little bit like Perfecta again as well. It's like we're being invited out somewhere that we don't know about them. We haven't seen any footage or anything of them.
And plus, I kind of had to stalk them. So, for example, they'd asked me on stream, hey, if you're coming to Norway, do you want to come out to my cabin on this island of Tusna? And I was like, you know what? I'm down. Send me a message. But I said, send me an email, and I could not find these guys. So I was like sending out Discord messages. I was posting on Instagram, and then it just kind of clicked at midnight that like, hey, maybe you got them to send me an email. So I found them, contacted them, and they're like, oh, I don't know if we can do it, but you can stay at my mate's cabin on this other day. Anyway, they all called up sick, and they all came out.
It was truly amazing. Those guys pulled that together in no time.
Yeah.
No
and
shame
they
to
gave
Moxie.
us the full Norway experience.
No
That
shame to
was-
Moxie or Perfecta or
Who else has hosted us?
any of the other great people that have hosted
yeah.
us
This
that
was-
weren't that memorable. Apparently,
Well, no, if you consider people hosting us, Scarlett hosted us for a stream.
yeah. Anyone. Everyone's been so generous and welcoming, but these guys went next level.
Oh my God, that
Yeah.
went next level.
Like they took us out in their boat and went fishing. I caught the biggest fish I've ever caught.
Let's quickly call them out. You got Kenneth, you had Tom, Torb, and their friend Christian.
There you go.
Yeah.
Took us out fishing. I caught the biggest fish I've ever caught.
Yeah, that was huge. That was the first fish as well.
Yeah.
That was massive.
It was big.
and we all caught fish.
Yeah, I
It was
caught
great.
2 and I had to touch them. It was disgusting.
Yeah, we
don't
all
like
caught one.
I caught one, and
we weren't going to go back until everyone caught a fish.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
So
so
we stayed out there a really long time because I didn't catch anything for a really, really long time. And then I caught basically what was an oversized minnow.
I don't know what that is, but I should laugh.
But it meant that we got to go home. So that was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I caught a heap of Atlantic cod. I caught a leer.
Yeah.
I caught a little fish, and unfortunately, this poor fellow was really hungry. He bit the hook, and it went through his eyeball. And I went to release him, and he was going pretty slow, and he wasn't going to make it. He went belly up a few times, so I I ripped his gills open and snapped his neck, and then we ate him.
That's not gonna
Can't you
help.
just say so?
That is not gonna help the viewership.
No.
Humanely dispatch the animal in the quickest way possible.
Well, you did.
He did. He didn't do it in a inhumane manner.
No, not inhumane.
And he did consume it, and he even said a little prayer for it.
I even ate the eyeballs.
Yeah.
I did say a little thank you to
Look,
the
if
animal.
anybody ever kills me and eats me, I hope they eat my eyeballs as well.
I don't. It's the weight of the soul.
Yeah. I want to haunt them forever.
So yeah, that was the first thing they did for us, and then secondly, they had this amazing cabin, which is like the perfect cabin. A couple of bedrooms, kitchen, like a living space.
Oh, and then
balcony.
Great deck.
Can I just
jump
quickly?
in the lake
Yeah, you did jump in the lake at the start.
I jumped in the
Yeah.
lake.
at the end.
But can I just
That's the
jump back into
ocean
the boat? I haven't spent much time on a boat or out fishing at all, and I loved that atmosphere. Just sitting back in the boat with the beer, having a little fishing thing, and I loved it. I was like, "This is peace."
Should we buy a boat?
You should buy a boat, and I should go on it. Yes.
I like my thing was I think Tom
Yep.
he was worried that I was like getting really sad because I couldn't catch anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, do this, and I was like, man, I'm so happy right now. I'm living the life. I don't need to catch anything right now.
You were wearing the same shorts.
I was.
It was great.
I think I rocked up. Why am I? You guys
speaking
are just-
like me now.
Anyway, I showed up in those shorts and I was like, I'm going to scare all these guys away, but they were very welcoming. I think they like the shorts.
They do. They did like the
And,
shorts.
Yeah, so they had this beautiful cabin with
They
the
did.
view, and then they decided to cook us hot dogs,
Yeah. Oh, they were great.
and they were like, I don't know,
They cooked a
Norwegian
lot
hot
of
dogs.
they were more
So
like
much meat.
Kranskis.
If anyone's had cheese smokies before,
Yeah.
they're cheese smokies.
And then they just brought out all the different types of chips and like
Snacks and chocolate.
chocolate. Oh my
And
god,
beer. They just kept bringing out beers.
so many
and
different types of beer.
I had a mango beer. I had a
drank a lot
fruity
that
beer. Yeah, we all drank a lot that night. We had 95% alcohol moonshine.
Oh yeah. So then we had the motor oil.
Oh, the motor
Oh,
oil.
it was like
Ugh.
aniseed. It was like
Licorice.
Simple Black.
It was horrible.
Oh,
It was so
this is-
salty at the first, and then it was so licoricey at the end.
Yeah, which is two things I don't like.
And while all this is going on, the one guy is slow cooking a massive lump of deer meat and on the barbecue and just like cooking it
Yeah.
to perfection.
And I don't think I've ever tasted deer meat that nice.
No.
It was delicious.
That's the first time I had deer. And at the same time, they gave us baked potatoes. They had like a corn
Mash,
a corn mash. What else was there?
rice,
You had a baked potato?
Rice. They had baked potato, like as in
scalloped potatoes.
Scalloped potatoes. So
See, as you can tell, we were very the way to our heart is through our stomach.
through food. Then they gave us strawberry and custard, and then you went to bed, and then they kept bringing out more alcohol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then they brought out the real shit.
Yeah, like the stuff where you
Oh,
drank it and it burnt for like an hour down the throat, and it just slowly went down. It was
It was 90% alcohol. It was like Everclear, if anyone's ever had that. Straight up moonshine.
So
Yeah.
initially we were worried that we were going to some random cabin where they were going to, cut us up and eat us, but
Then we were really worried when we went to
it
bed.
was just straight out of hostel at this point because they were trying to get us really drunk.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to bed.
You slept in a child's bed.
Yeah.
His legs were like hanging off the end.
I felt so bad.
I'm a short person.
Yeah, but you're not that
I'm
short.
only 5'7", and this bed was small.
It was like 5. You had 7
I
inches.
think it was more like 4 foot, bro. From pretty much my butt down wasn't on the bed. It was
Yeah.
just sticking out to the side over my back.
I offered you a spot next to me on the queen size.
No, I said I'd sleep on the bed.
I slept on the couch and I woke up to the dog licking my face.
I also
dog,
offered you a spot on my. Why does nobody want to sleep next to me?
You snore.
And
you
you're
snored
very-
last night,
You're
Michael.
very hot.
I am very hot.
You snored a lot last night.
Yeah, because you put a lot of alcohol into me, and you made me climb a fucking mountain and then do a hike the day before. I was tired.
the things I make him do.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Well,
what
let's-
was going on over there because we didn't sleep.
Okay, let's zoom through the rest
get
of
to
the story.
that
We had an
later.
awesome time in Norway.
We
And
did.
then where do we go after that?
Well, we went north after that. We were initially going out to Lofoten, which is this peninsula that I was really excited for because it was where a movie was filmed and like a doco was filmed. I can't remember the name of it, but it's something like Rising Sun or something. But it's these two guys that go to a remote beach in Norway.
Surfs Up.
Hey,
Surfs Up.
No, it's not that.
Shia LaBeouf was in it.
they go to this remote beach in Norway. It's in Lofoten, but they don't actually say where it is. And they go surfing for like a season. By a season, I mean like all of like winter and stuff. And they just built a cabin out of like
Trash.
the stuff that comes out in the ocean, and then also made an igloo looking thing, and it was awesome. I was going to originally take us there. Then Decky had the idea we should go whale watching. So we started looking at that idea.
Well, we had heard a lot about whale watching from people during the time. They were like getting like rib boat. You go out, you can get right next to a whale, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
It did look cool. And then Lou looked at the price and it was expensive. So we started driving up towards that area anyway. And we kept seeing all these rivers and we're like, why don't we go rafting? So Decky got on the job, looked for a place to go rafting.
Yeah.
The most northern rafting place in all of Europe.
In Norway.
Yeah, and introduces us to our Scottish friend.
Unless it's somewhere in Russia, it's probably the most northern place in all of
Well,
Europe.
they had a place at the Ice Hotel.
Maybe
Recent
Iceland
Betley.
too.
Yeah.
Recent Betley, they took us on this rafting journey, which was awesome. We had so much fun. We were originally going to go on this really dangerous, hectic river, but they had so much rain. The water level was too high. They said we couldn't go on it. It was a little disappointing, but we went on another one, and that one was still quite fun, all until I lost my GoPro. So we got all this cool footage. We went up some pretty decent rapids, and then we went through some calm spots. And he even did some like fun stuff where we flipped the raft, and then we all have to try and
We drowned
get
each
back
other.
in.
Yeah, that was good.
So the way he lost his GoPro is we were going through this like insane rapid and it flicked Jared up into the sky and he fell out of the boat. And in the process of falling out of the boat, it smacked onto the side of the raft and then fell into the water and we couldn't find it.
Okay, so what really happened is Reese said the front two guys bend over at the front
Yeah,
with
which was
your
me and you,
asses
wasn't it?
up, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, this is cool."
Okay.
So like Jared and I,
No, it was me and you.
oh, it was me and Michael in front. So
Yeah.
we bend over, and then he's all like, "All right, Paul, Jared, mount them from behind," and he's like, "Get on top of them and like." Crawl on them, and so we were mounted, and then he was all, and at that point he moved forward, and so all the weight in the boat moves forward, and the boat starts tipping forward, which drowns. It waterboards Michael and myself, and so like we have our face like dunking in and out of the water, and we're like,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What is this supposed to be fun?"
We still haven't done
was fun for me.
We still haven't done that review yet because you were dunking me.
Yeah. And you started squirming a bit and I ended up falling off. We fell in the water and I tried to get back in the raft, which I had done a couple times already.
Started squirming a bit.
Hold still and drown, Michael.
Shut up already.
As my GoPro was
Stop
attached
breathing.
to my chest. It was all secure. And when I pulled myself up on the raft, the GoPro hooked on the raft and snapped off of the holder and fell directly into the water. Now we were in kind of a slow area and it wasn't really moving, so we had the chance to look for it. But where we were standing was like super muddy. So probably as soon as I dropped it, I stepped on it and smashed it into the mud somewhere. So there was like, we spent 30 minutes finding it, trying to find it.
We all stood still and all of us were just hanging off the side of the boat just looking.
Yeah.
It was actually the most morale sapping thing that had happened.
Yeah, because particularly when I was standing in that water and it was glacial
Yeah,
cold
you guys
water.
almost got
Yeah.
hypothermia.
I was getting like really
Jared's
really
lips
cold.
were like proper blue.
Yeah.
And I was really blue in general just because I was sad.
Yeah. It was sucked.
So that kind of ruined the whole rapids thing.
Yeah.
But we
I still
lost
had a good time.
The worst part about that was the loss of footage. We lost a lot of the Norway cruise when we went fishing. All the catching of the fishing was on that GoPro.
We had just started doing uploads the night before and the computer got like logged up with an SD card or something with the SSD card. I don't know what it is, but we
It
had
was
to
full.
we had to wait for other things to upload. And then, we were going to do it again, but then we went, nah, don't worry about it. It should be fine. And yeah, it sucks.
Which, by the way, if anyone's out there decides to fly a drone whilst rafting, landing on a moving raft isn't really terrifying.
No.
Just you know.
But other than that, I enjoyed us as the team bonding experience of rafting together.
I loved
Forward,
it. I think we need to do it again.
Fiesta,
Yeah.
backward.
Yeah, it was really fun and some bigger rapid. Like we didn't really have any adrenaline inducing rapids, but we had a good time.
Yeah.
And after that, we stayed in a cabin. We had a nice little campfire that night.
Great
Yeah,
cabin.
you did. I was doing work, but you did.
Yeah.
Was it a good fire? Was it better than the first night?
That was before,
It
actually.
was before.
It was a really wet fire, so it took a long time to get going. But once it got going, it was fine.
Yeah. There you go.
After the rafting, we drove all the way to Sweden. It was a pretty long drive, maybe 6-7 hours. We drove and we saw our first batch of reindeer.
Yeah, we did.
And honestly, it was like Christmas for me.
It was.
I woke these guys up, like, guys. And they probably thought we were going to have a car accident. And I was just excited to point out a reindeer that was standing in the middle of the road.
What I actually thought is like, you were like, guys. And I was like, huh? And I looked up and I saw something on the side of the road. I thought, and you were slowing down. I thought you were legit picking up a hitchhiker. And I was like, we don't even have room.
We could have made room.
But like, that's what I thought
Any
it
day.
was. And then I was like, oh, it's a reindeer. It was really cool.
Yeah. Sven.
Yeah. And I was looking at some videos I took. We saw an albino reindeer.
Did we?
Yeah, it's all white and had pink eyes and pink everything. So very cool.
There you go. But then we went to an ice hotel.
Pause.
Pause.
With the reindeer. So I posted on social media. I was super excited to see the reindeers. And I'm like, oh, first time seeing wild reindeer. And then they all started pointing out like, oh, they've all got tags in their ears.
Yeah.
So the way it kind of works is all the wild reindeer, are like semi-wild. So they tag them and all that, and they're looked after by like the
National
locals.
Park Rangers or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Oh no, there's like a group of people that look after them.
Someone was telling us about it.
I don't know.
One of the
Starts with
Norwegians.
an I, I think. The
Igloo.
indigenous Swedish people.
Yeah. So they're not completely wild, but it was cool. And on the way to our next location, we were going to go get some food. And I don't normally stop to talk about food on a podcast, but I think this food needs to be noted as the worst food I've ever had in my life.
Oh, I've had worse.
No, as in like from what should be a proper establishment with good food, we were hungry. It was the
Midsummer Eve.
Midsummer Eve.
And so nowhere was open besides this one pizza shop, and it was called Aiden's Pizza or something.
It was.
Start with a D.
Dylan's
Yeah.
Pizza.
They wouldn't let us eat inside.
And they did not look Italian,
No.
so you knew it wasn't going to be authentic pizza.
No, not every. Just because they're not Italian doesn't mean they can't make good pizza. It's because they put banana on a pizza.
Yeah, so we got the
Tropicana.
tropical pizza.
Yeah,
Tropicana. So you'd think that would just be like a pineapple pizza, which a lot of people, really controversial anyways. But it had banana and pineapple on it. And banana, that crosses the line. That is a fucked up thing to have.
It's a
on
dessert.
Yeah.
And it tasted so wrong.
Yeah.
I asked for a pepperoni pizza and they were like, salami. And I was like, pepperoni. And then everybody's like, salami is the same thing as pepperoni. And I was like, I don't think it is. And so I got a salami pizza. Let me just tell you, it's not. Apparently it's like the same meat. It just has different spices. We looked into it. I don't eat kind of lunch meats other than pepperoni on my pizza. And I was very disappointed. But I ate that. I think I enjoyed my pizza more than you guys did.
I think you did.
Yeah. We still ate it all.
Yes, we did.
One of the cool things I have discovered though is there are a lot of like campsites throughout like Sweden and Norway where it's relatively cheap. We got a 4 bed cabin, but it's literally just 4 beds, like 2 bunk beds and a table. Sometimes you get you get a heater as well, and it's $40 US, which is really nice because that's how much a campsite would be.
Yeah,
in
it has
Australia to put a
bathroom
tent
and
up.
shower.
Yeah.
And it's like a
Kitchen.
communal bathroom and shower.
Yeah.
And a kitchen. But who
It
cares?
is warm water.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
So that's like originally I was like, oh, well, just camp everywhere. But now it's like for $40.
Yeah.
Saves them to put the tent up, dry it out,
We can charge everything. We can do
uploads.
uploads.
It's great.
Hide from mosquitoes.
Oh, I promise. Oh, thank God.
So yeah, this is all in lead up to our big climb for the highest peak of Sweden, which we decided we'd do in the afternoon to avoid the rain. And so to burn some of the time, we went.
Before we go into that, the whole journey of the climb, you guys ready for a conspiracy theory break?
Well, I was going to point us towards the ice hotel, but continue.
Oh, yeah.
Conspiracy go.
Conspiracy theory break?
Conspiracy theory break.
So this is a little bit of a fun one. Might mix in a few different things. So the Hollow Earth. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing it's based off the journey to the center of the earth theory.
Kind of. Basically, so there's like different tiers of Earth, and there may be people living in the different lower areas. So the Earth crust, the first one would be like 800 kilometers down. You get to
Hell.
no, the next tier, and this is where the lizard people live and all that. There's a lot of different theories about it, but it's actually based on some kind of true things.
Oh.
Yes. So, well, you're actually just watching the dinosaur thing and kind of about human evolution. And it mentioned in that at some points, the human population dropped to below 10,000 people, even smaller.
Yep.
So we think to ourselves like, oh, we have electronics, we have gas powered engines. We're the most technically advanced we've ever been, right? But could it be possible that a million years ago we were just as advanced and then we got blasted back into the Stone Age? Because like if we had a massive solar flare right now, all of our hard drives would melt, all of the power grid would go down. We would essentially be thrown back into the Stone Age. And, with some fighting and some, maybe some genocides and wars and things, like we could easily be knocked down to a few thousand people left. And then the earth would reclaim a ton of things, maybe not some massive things like the pyramids or, Stonehenge, that kind of thing. So we'd be left with very few things that we have now, even though we think we have so much information on motherboards and in the cloud, but how good the
files are in the computer.
Yeah, the files are in the computer. So go on.
So where was I going with this? So there's a theory that after one of these cataclysmic events, there was a group of people that basically thought, so it could have been like an insane amount of lightning storms where the earth is just getting scorched by lightning, or like maybe a meteor shower, something basically coming from the sky that's deadly. So there was this group of people that invested in, it would be over like hundreds of generations, digging massive cavernous areas to live in. So in the US, I think it's around the Mississippi River somewhere, there's like this indigenous tribe, Native American tribe, the Muskogee people. And in their,
Muskogee.
Yeah, the Muskogee, I don't know how to say it, but in their lore, they say that we come from the earth. We've come from underground. Our people came from underground. And in that area, there is massive, massive caverns that look like they've been like carved to live in. And they've said to be able to hold 15 to 20,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're not lizards.
Well, we're still on the Earth's crust. You got to go down 800 kilometers.
Yeah. That's what the lizard
So you're just saying a long time ago, some people dug holes and lived in them.
Yeah. And well, these would be the surface level people. And then some people dug a lot deeper and maybe they're still there. Yeah.
When do they come back up?
When the time's right. Maybe they don't need to.
Maybe
Maybe
James
they already
Cameron,
have.
Maybe James Cameron will find it.
No, he only went
Water?
10 kilometers.
I did just read a headline. I never read articles. I just read headlines. That's how I get my news.
Yeah.
So it's not very accurate. But I think we drilled further than we've ever drilled before, just like within the last week.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, we broke some record and popped past something that we've never popped past before. Yeah, pretty
Serious
cool.
question.
Yeah.
How much, if you had the opportunity to go see the Titanic in a sub before the accident and they said it was free, you being like one of the lucky people, would have you done it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wouldn't think a submarine would be that dangerous.
I wouldn't think that they'd be that.
If somebody offered me to go see it right now, I'd still do it.
Yeah, because they'd be doing a lot more.
Well, not
checks.
with Ocean Gate, but if James Cameron told me I could come with them, then yeah, I'd go with him.
That's cool. I've always said we value human life too much. We should be launching people into space left and right, leaving them to die. And same thing with ocean. And if that means me, sign me up.
You can go to Mars.
You think it's more like a volunteer as tribute? People just need to be like, we need a good old fashioned culling.
Yeah.
No.
It's a numbers game.
I think regulations and value human life prevents us from making major accomplishments when it comes to exploration in space.
Yeah. We need people who don't value their lives to explore new shit.
Criminals.
No, like in
They
all
value their
seriousness,
lives. We
Plenty of
don't
people would
value their
volunteer.
lives.
with old mate Elon saying that they're going to go to Mars,
Yeah.
right? How long do you think, like, why can't they fly to Mars but not land on it and just have someone do a flyby?
What would be the point?
To, like, take close photographs to...
But they have
They could just send a
drones
robot.
for that. Robots.
But our communication is obviously shit because we don't ever get it back. Like I'm saying, do a flyby and come back and land on Earth. That would be the next stage. Like at the moment,
We don't get shit back from it. We have rovers. We've had rovers over there since 2000.
Yeah, but they don't come back.
Yeah, but they send pictures back.
Yeah, but they're shitty. I'm saying like, imagine
We have a helicopter on Mars.
we have a helicopter on Mars.
Yeah, they got a little remote control helicopter. It's done like 1 million flights.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a drone helicopter.
That's
Did
really
not know
cool.
this.
I like your knowledge of space.
I very much like space. And I'm not saying we need to send people to die. I'm just saying there are people that would be willing to take a one-way trip to Mars. Me. Sign me up right now.
But okay. And then you would just get there and die?
Yeah. But it makes major advancements for humankind.
What advancements
We
would you
sent
call?
someone,
Someone
there
there,
and
we're
die.
like, oh,
what an advancement.
Guess humans can't live on Mars. Check that out.
No, but you'd be able to discover things and relay information while you were there. Stuff that, yes, maybe robots can't do.
You know what? I bet you Decky would go there.
I know there's some good experiments you could do on Mars to see.
It'd be a great episode.
Let's not reveal our new show yet.
Yeah, I think we can wait. But I bet you that if Decky went there and like everyone's like, oh, he's gone, he's lost, he's dead. And then they'd like, in 10 years time, they'd lay like a colony down there and there's Decky with a tribe of, I don't know, Mars people that he's somehow swindled
Called Martians.
Martians that he's swindled into being their leader. I can see that.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the ice house.
Yeah, we went to the ice hotel
Yeah, we really went off there. What did the ice house have to do with ground people?
because he gave us a conspiracy.
Yeah, you guys. Well, someone mentioned they wanted to do a conspiracy theory minute. Or
I
something
just
like
thought it was supposed to be related to our conversation.
No,
Well,
I
ice
thought it was a
hotel-
BPB thing, but I enjoyed that we put it in.
that. Yeah, we can cut it and put it behind.
No,
it.
I like it.
Do you guys want the conspiracy theory segment of the podcast?
I want it.
I do. But I'm saying they should tell us in the comments. On top of that, we went to this ice hotel. I was like, I don't know what this is going to be like. I was amazed.
As was I.
I thought I was going to be pretty underwhelmed, and it was actually cool.
It was very cool. Some of the stuff, like the art inside the ice as well. Like they've got a piece of block of ice and there's like artwork in it, and you're like, how?
Yeah, and then we worked it out.
How?
They get a block of ice
Yeah.
and they would carve from the side everything in there,
And then the other side put it together.
and then they'd put another block there so it looks like there's a hollowed out inside. But then what they did was they'd carve out one side and then they'd carve out the other side, but then they'd backfill it with snow. So then that way one of them would be clear, touching, like say it was two hands touching. The other one would be like a different color.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how
It was incredible.
it was awesome. It was
Like-
honestly awesome.
Insanely well done.
Yeah, and you can stay there, which
Very
I really
cool.
want to do, but it's a lot of money.
Oh, we can get one bedroom for $350.
US.
Yeah.
Yeah. That or a helicopter ride.
I'm glad we did the helicopter ride.
There we go. So yeah, we
We got a
went there.
drink in an icy glass.
Yeah, we did.
You guys drink a lot.
We got to smash it. It was awesome.
What are you doing? Stop playing with my toes.
So yeah, but I highly recommend if you do come to the northern parts of Sweden, go to the ice hotel.
Yeah.
Near Kiruna.
Even get to stay a night there. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And so like the ice hotel it's a museum, or it's a art exhibit
Yeah.
and a hotel at the same time. So it's an art exhibit during the daytime because nobody's just gonna like stay in the ice room.
Yeah.
It's kind of cold. But they do have like beds there and they give you like proper insulated sleeping bags and you can actually sleep in there because after 6 p.m. it becomes your room. And you can like actually sleep in that. But they also on the backside, they have another door which leads to an actual warm area. You have your own personal sauna. You have like, a sitting area. You have your own amenities and a livable space. And then you can go into the ice room and actually sleep and do whatever else you want in there.
Maybe heat things up a bit.
Exactly.
I'd be worried there'd be cameras.
Nah, I'd be more excited if there were.
Well, there's definitely cameras in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, really cool.
It's very warm, isn't it?
And then we headed off. So after all this, we headed off to the highest peak of Sweden. And now let me say that I knew this was going to be our most difficult hike of the trip. It consisted of an 18-kilometer hike in to the starting point, which was relatively flat, but because of all the recent rains, it was heavily flooded. We would stay the night in a tent, and then we would do our ascent, which was about 1,600 meters of elevation gain, with another 18 kilometers round trip, which would end up being closer to 2,000 meters of elevation gain after we did the back and forth. Because there was a point where you went up to the top of one hill, back down through a saddle, and then back up the next one. And then once you finished doing the highest point, you'd have to go back through it all. I honestly didn't anticipate it would hurt me as much as it did. But the coolest part, besides all the hiking part, was there was like a full functioning like society at where we stayed.
Yeah.
The STF,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know what's SDF stand for.
sweet or something.
Yeah.
Swedish Frontier.
The Frontier.
Swedish Trail Federation.
Either way. They have an actual like full cabin like lodging section, and because it was midsummer holidays, everyone was staying there. They had like a restaurant, a bar, a sauna, heating room, guided tours, helicopter, everything.
Boat.
A boat.
Yeah. We also had to hike in 18 kilometers the day before.
Were you not listening?
And that was like full pack too. We had to hike in because normally anytime we do any of these mountains we drive to the bottom of the mountain to the start point, we go. And so usually we're carrying a couple liters of water, maybe extra socks, very
Some
minimal
snacks.
kit to keep our weight down. But since we knew we were going to be staying 2 nights or 2 sleep sessions, we were like, we need to bring some proper stuff. We had to bring a lot of food. We need to bring tents. We needed sleeping bags, mats, and definitely amped up the weight on the package.
Yeah.
Which is we're not usually doing big.
And that's where I got my blisters.
Exactly.
On a normal hike. Every other mountain we've done, no blisters.
18 kilometers is 18 kilometers, no matter what way you look at it. So it's still quite a long time walking.
I almost fell in a river.
You did. That was really close.
Some really cool river crossings on that.
Yeah.
And I told you guys there was going to be river crossings.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jared called it.
He did the first leap of faith across the biggest river.
Yeah, and he made it. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Yep.
But overall, yeah, that was a super cool experience. That was one of my favorite climbs. Also, the summit was insane.
Yeah. Probably my favorite summit.
A
That
lot
was
of times when you get to
beautiful.
a mountain, either sometimes they'll have like a building up there, or it's pretty flat area on top.
Yeah.
This one came to a proper point.
Yeah, that's the first point we've ever seen.
And it was all like snow, which
Yeah.
made it much scarier
Yeah.
because it was probably 20 feet of snow all just compacted on top of this mountain, which could dislodge, and if it did, we're dead. So, but it was some sheer drop offs on the side of that thing. It was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't keen to stay up there too long.
Visually, that's the coolest peak we've seen.
It looked like the top of a Hershey's Kiss. So like you have the top of the mountain, and then just put a little Hershey's Kiss on top of there. Instead of chocolate, it was white. Very, very picturesque.
Yeah, like a wave capping.
Yeah, it was a wave. Yeah.
That's deep. And I managed to keep my boots dry until we got to the summit. And then it had been sunny so much that the snow just turned into water, and it
All
was
slush.
the worst. I was that sapped a lot of my morale. That did.
Yeah. That was pretty rough.
It was.
And then began the long hike downhill.
Yeah. What a hike, though.
Yeah. We actually summited 3 times that day
We did.
because you have to summit this first small mountain,
Which he said
which
before.
is quite large. And then you go back down, summit the real mountain, and then you have to come back and summit the little one again. So that's
And
3
it's
summits.
demoralizing as fuck.
Yeah.
And it was not a little mountain. Let's just clarify that. It was real big.
Yeah.
Just not as big as the other one.
But when we first went down it was all covered in clouds, so you couldn't really see how horrible it was. So I think that would have been better. But this time it cleared up and it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once we got down in the valley, being able to look back up, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Super beautiful scenery out there. If you guys have the chance to go do the Kebnekaise hike, it's rough. Like, isn't just long endurance. You're not going to be like, doing any rock climbing or anything.
Yeah.
But it was
A proper
was
hike.
gorgeous.
But then we went and celebrated some beers with the boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
then
I-
made it down to the bar
Yeah.
just in the nick of time.
And the boss decided, you know what?
I had a
We're
rule.
gonna have another beer with the boys.
I have a rule that when we climb a mountain, I know. Okay, so this isn't just for mountains. Anytime I do some sort of big event, I have a burger and a beer. Now, obviously, we couldn't have burgers at this place because they didn't sell burgers. So I was like, I'm keen to get back in time for a beer. So I was pushing these guys to walk out a little bit faster so we get back to the
You were
place.
flying down the mountain.
Up it, not so much. Down it, yes.
I was thirsty
Yes.
for a beer.
I was excited for mac and cheese.
And we made it back. We got down, jump over a river, and then we get and have our beers. But I didn't just want to stop at one.
No, you didn't. It shocked me.
It was sort of the first time ever because
You didn't even want to stop at 3.
whenever like Pest has his rule of, he does something accomplishment, he gets a beer and a burger. Jared and I have the rule of if we have a fire, we have a beer.
We have the rule, if we have the opportunity to drink, we have a beer.
And I think I've partaken in it maybe once or twice.
Yeah. But usually Pest reserves himself from it because he's like, it's not an accomplishment. I'm not going to have it.
I'm also trying to be a little bit healthier and lose weight and get fitter. So if I just drink every night, that's not going to help.
I switched to wine after my first beer last night.
But I didn't even stay up for the mac and cheese. I had 3 beers and I was like, I'm ready to sleep. And I didn't even remember touching the pillow.
Wow.
I was out straight away.
Yeah, so after that, we cooked 2 boxes of mac and cheese.
Oh, I don't even remember what it tasted like.
It was
I just remember
not
it was
good, but
warm
we were hungry.
and mushy, and I put it in my mouth.
It was really warm. Nothing like a warm meal when you've been like, well, it wasn't really cold, but just exerted all day, and it was brisk.
So hungry.
Yeah. And then we had the whole debacle of the drying room. So the facility has like accommodation, obviously. It also has like, you can buy like a service pass, which lets you use the bathrooms, the showers, and the drying room, and even the sauna. However, they had some real issues with the plumbing. So they just said anyone who comes by can use the service stuff for free. So that means the drying room. So we're like, okay, we're soaked. We got to hike another 18K in the morning. So I said, I'll take everyone's boots, walk about 200 meters, throw them in the drying room, and then I'll walk back barefoot.
Yep.
And
which I then was like,
no, Michael,
sorry,
I got this one.
Okay, cool.
Then you can have your...
Yeah, and then I'm going to have my part, Michael.
Because I think it goes 1, 2, 3.
This is going to be confessions.
Yeah.
Confessionals, Roddy.
So I offered this, and then Michael graciously said, I don't want you to have to do that alone. Why don't we go and we'll just hang out there until things are dry, and we'll sleep in the drying room if we have to. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Chill a couple more hours with the boys.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Because I honestly felt bad. Like we've just done this massive hike together. I shouldn't make this guy go do it by himself. I should,
Yeah. And then you also conned Decky into coming with us.
Before we get to
I
that,
conned him though.
our camp was like half a kilometer away from the hut.
It was not half a kilometer.
Mate. It was 200 meters max.
Okay, whatever it is. But it's on this very muddy, rocky, horrible trail.
It wasn't that bad.
Where the tent
trail.
wasn't horrible, but the trail
Going to it was horrible. And I mean, I have very fragile feet, but this is not even a trail that these guys would want to walk on their own.
No, you'd have to wash your feet.
Originally, I wasn't wanting to, but you go on. Yeah.
Okay. No, I was just saying the trail was not.
I felt really bad because I thought, and in hindsight, I should really be like, you know what? If Jared says something, I shouldn't patronize him, and I should be like, you know what? No, he can do it. He's offered. He wants to do it. He should do it.
Yeah. So, anyways, all 3 of us go down to the drying room. We all put our stuff in the dryer, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go wash my hair in the sink because I felt like just pretty gross. So I did that, and then I came out and see Michael's eyes like starting to droop.
I was like, I was ready to go. I was ready to hang out with the boys.
I was like, okay, we need to go to bed.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's all go. Let's just walk to bed. I'll get your stuff in the morning. And there's no way Decky was walking on those rocks.
Yeah.
So we didn't do that. And then I said, okay, well, let's do another trip. We'll put our boots back on. We'll go back. I'll do the original plan again. That was also not happening. Mm-hmm. And I could see Michael fading pretty hard.
It wasn't me that I was fading. I could see, I was like, Jared wants to go to bed.
No, you were really happy to stay up. But
Yeah.
I could just sense we were all getting tired.
Yeah.
And I didn't want you to be needlessly tired the following day.
Oh, thank you, my love.
Yeah.
Thank you. Isn't that lovely?
So basically, Michael cons me into going down here to help Jared out. Jared offered to do this, and I was like, we all had said we don't want Jared to have to do it. Yeah. But Jared,
I was fine with someone doing it.
Jared was pretty insistent on taking all of our boots down so we could stay at the camp. He would put them all down there and then walk back barefoot on the hard rocks. And then Michael ends up being like, no, I'm gonna go help out Jared. And he's like, Decky, you're coming with us. And I'm always in to hang out with the boys. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll come down. We sleep down there. And we get down there, and then they just end up both being a bunch of goddamn bitches. And
He wanted to go to bed.
Right next to
well, no, somebody redeems themselves. Somebody does not.
Okay, yep, go on.
And so we were all going to stay down there at the drying area so that we'd let our things dry overnight. We'd get our boots and we'd be able to walk back and bring Pestis, who was asleep in the cabin or in the tent. And yeah, it starts off. So like Jared washes his hair. He comes out and he sees that Michael's a little bit tired, and Michael, we even talked a little bit while he was washing his hair, and Michael was a little bit tired, but he was ready to hang out. Yeah, we all were. Yeah. And then it comes up. They're walking. We're going to like the actual lodge to go sit on the couch, and they're like, yeah, let's just go to bed. And I was like, yeah, you expect me to walk back without my boots on? It's going to be part of it all over again, but times 10. And go watch the before death video of where I talk about my fragile feet. Anyway, and I was infuriated. I was conned into coming down here instead of laying in my bed and letting Jared take down my shoes. I was conned in here by Micheal. And now they want to go back and make me walk on these rocks and slice my poor feet up when I have to walk 18K tomorrow. And then I let them know it. I was mad. And Dom Daddy was coming out. And then
you were very insistent.
We were like, it's all right. Let's just go back and we'll sort it out now. It's fine.
Yeah, and then they're like, well, let's all put our shoes on and go back together. And then Jared can come back down, drop the shoes off, and then come back up barefoot. And I was like, why didn't we do that the first time? No, we're already down here. We're going to stay down here. And that's when Dom Daddy really came out. I domed him. And I was like, Jared, you're not going anywhere. And I was like, Micheal, you're not going anywhere. And then Micheal turned to me and he says, yeah, I am. And he just walks off with bare feet. He just walks off with bare feet and he goes back to the camp. And Jared and I try and sleep on the couch all night, where I think I got like 3 hours of sleep and it was horrible.
Because then I could see that like, Jared's like, I'm not going to get Decky to change his mind. But if I move on, maybe Decky will change his mind and come as well. It didn't work.
No, I knew I was just going to sleep on the couch there. I was worried there wasn't going to be enough room for both of us, but it's a nice big L couch. So
yeah, would there been room for three of us?
There was multiple of them, so you could have found a spot.
So yeah, I could have hung with the boys.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with the sleep is like obviously we're not supposed to be sleeping there. So if someone comes in, like
constantly nervous and waking up.
Yeah. So anytime there's a noise, and every time the door opens, it slams too.
Yeah.
So someone comes in at 3 a.m. because people are coming into this thing at all times of the night because it doesn't get dark. So people are still hiking. So yeah, every hour or two we're waking up, and then 5:30 we hear someone cleaning, and then we're up for good at this point. So we sit on the couch, pretend we're just like, looking at our phones or something, and we haven't been sleeping there all night.
So what I want to say is I'm sorry I conned Decky into it, because you and I would have just walked back barefoot.
The main thing here is this entire endeavor was to have all of the boots dry and only have one person to have to sacrifice their poor feet walking back in the mud and on the hard rocks. And that person was going to be Jared. And then Micheal wanted to help Jared. And the whole thing was, all it took for us to get all of our boots dry is one person walk back without any shoes. And instead, Micheal drags 3 of us down there just so we can walk back without the shoes, and leaves 2 of us down there anyway. If Micheal had just taken all of our boots down and walked back on his own, we all could have gotten a fantastic full night of sleep. But no, instead he cons 2 of us down there to go have the worst sleep of my entire life.
And so I reveal my long con. Who remembers when I was trying to order that ice cream? And he ruined it for me.
I remember that.
And he stole my dream. Guess what? Game, set, match. That's what it's like when you take someone's dream away. You're welcome.
Long con.
I'm
Anyway.
sorry that you had to get dragged.
Meanwhile, after my 3 beers, I went straight to sleep in the tent. I had no idea any of this had gone on. And I wake up in the morning to 2 people thudding past the tent. And it sounded like normally you can kind of tell when someone's got a bit of weight on their back because they're like walking heavier. People don't normally stomp past with no weight on.
With gusto.
And so I'm waking up and I hear these 2 people stomp past, and I'm like, well, that's definitely not Jared, because the plan was Jared would take all our boots, drop them off, 7 a.m.
One person would.
Yeah, Jared alone would take all our boots, drop them off, come back, 7 a.m., walk back down, pick them all up, drop them off again. So I'm like, okay. And by the way, I'm busting for a piss. I'm like, well, I'm waiting for 7 a.m. so Jared can drop my shoes off so I can get up and go piss. So here I am thinking, nope, those 2 people thudded past. It's definitely not Jared, and it's definitely not Jared. And then I see Micheal wake up, and he's like peering through the gap like he's done something wrong.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'm like, no, that can't be Jared. It was 2 people. And Michael's just like peering through, looking all like,
And it was before 7.
It was 6:45.
It was.
yeah. And that's another thing that was going through my head. Well, I'm like, well, why would Jared do it earlier?
Yeah, because I said I was going to wake up at 7 and I'd be back by 7:15. But because me and Decky had been up since 5:30, like properly
Since
up, like
4.
Yeah, like we were sitting up and didn't close our eyes since 5:30. Then we went and sat in the drying room for a bit, put our boots back on and walked back.
So Michael's character arc has gone from that nice, sweet guy that's happy and lovable and talks to everyone to calling a woman golem, offending another woman about shitting
A golem
outside.
is different. It's a golem.
Insulting multiple women.
Yeah. Oh, and that's not even talking about the alcoholic
You guys
women.
never ever pick out the men I insult. You only ever focus on the women, but that's
We
fine.
could get to them. And then on top of that, you're butchering our team dynamic.
How am I
and
butchering the team dynamic?
Let's go with my leadership by when Jared said that he would do it. I said, okay, Jared, we'll do this. Contradicting my leadership and then spoiling the experience for other people.
Absolutely.
So in the process of our hike down, I was like, I'm going to have a surprise for these lads. Not knowing that any of this shit went down. I was like, you know what? We've got a big hike in about a day and a half from now. We're going to be climbing the highest peak of Finland. We're going to be having to fly in. It's a 20-kilometer hike up and down a mountain. Instead of doing this 18-kilometer walk out, I'm going to try and surprise these guys with a nice cheeky helicopter ride. But yeah, so I don't know if they deserved it now, or at least Michael.
Yeah.
He should have had to walk
Yeah.
without his shoes.
Papa Pestily coming in big with the
But
helicopter ride.
it was amazing. Like Pest even let us wake up this morning and we all pack our gear. And I even made like a story on my Instagram, Sturdeki on Instagram. And I was like, and I made my story and I was like, I'm gonna eat some cornflakes and this biscuit because I gotta walk 18K out of here today.
Also, comment below if you know why cornflakes were invented.
Oh my god.
So I had this theory when I was walking down. I'm like, all right, I know we've got this big hike coming up and 18 kilometers going down the path we've already been down through marshy land. We're getting our feet wet again. It's not going to help us. It's not that. And I was like, it wasn't cheap. It was $100. Well, in realisticness, $100 US per person to fly in a helicopter to go somewhere you need to go anyway. I think it's not that bad. Like it's a scenic route and all. So it's like going on a scenic helicopter ride, but with a purpose.
It saves you walking 18 kilometers.
Yeah, but you see a waterfall and the rivers and the mountains and everything. So I thought, this is cool. So yeah, I was going to tee that up, but I was going to surprise everyone. And this is why they didn't really understand when we were coming down the mountain the night before. I was trying to get back before 9:15 because I knew that's when reception closed because I wanted them to help me out booking the helicopter. So when we were zooming down, like, fuck, Paul's going quick. I'm like, I need to get back so I can book this fucking helicopter. But anyway.
No, but we got it done.
Yeah, we rode in a helicopter. My first time in a helicopter. That's what we can name this podcast. It is about firsts.
Oh yeah.
My first time in a helicopter.
It was really great. They split up our team of riding in the helicopter because
and this
of
fucking
another
dumbass
mountaineer.
mountaineer.
Oh, that mountaineer guy.
Yeah.
Was he a mountaineer?
He said he was.
We met this hiker, and I didn't actually meet him, but apparently the guy say he insisted on calling himself a mountaineer.
Yeah, no, he told
9
Decky.
times in a minute.
It's like if you meet from
vegan?
Pestily and I, if you meet somebody and just the first thing he says is like, I'm a streamer. I'm a streamer. And it's like,
Are you?
well, why do you need to emphasize this so much? But we met this guy and he's like, I'm a mountaineer. Are you guys mountaineers? How many mountains have you climbed? Because I'm a mountaineer. Do you see my boots? They're mountaineer boots. And I was like, okay. Which I'm sure he is a mountaineer. He just, it felt like
Very aggressive.
the name of it was very important to him that he was labeled that. Anyway, he really messed stuff up for us. He didn't let the entire group go on together, and then he prevented Jared from having the window seat. But Jared was a little kid. He had the time of his life in that helicopter.
said it was
He was a little bit
terrifying.
scared, but it was great.
Yeah, it was terrible.
What was terrifying about it? Not the way that you said before.
Well, like you take off, and an airplane is very linear. You go up and
is.
you go down.
Yeah.
Whereas a helicopter, you go up and you're like wobbling the whole way, and it's like any gust of wind is very shocking. And I didn't trust the pilot either. No, I was kidding. The pilot was wonderful. It's just a little joke.
The thing about when you're taking off in a helicopter, though, is that I believe that it tries to pull to the right straight away because of the way the blades, or it might be the left, it tries to,
Yeah, whichever
the
is
way
spinning.
the blade's spinning, yeah. So when you come up like off the ground initially, it gives you a jerk, and it makes you feel a little bit like, what the fuck?
It
And
just
then-
felt like we were very like naked up there. Like in an airplane, I feel like you're protected by momentum. Like if you're gonna crash, you'd be like, oh well, there's a chance we'll glide and we can find a flat spot and just like have a rough landing, but you still glide. Like if something goes wrong with a helicopter, it's
You
like
spin.
Auto rotation.
What?
It doesn't matter. But no, helicopter. I mean, they are more dangerous than planes. A lot more dangerous. But no, it was really good. And it was, I love helicopters.
If there was
I
a
really
time to take a helicopter ride,
it was then.
That was it.
that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did really enjoy it.
So I like the idea that I could spoil the boys, and particularly Jared with his first helicopter ride.
Yeah,
so.
it was a special moment. I'll never forget.
It was an amazing surprise because we were so dreading that hike.
And they were really in a shitty mood this morning. They haven't been in a shitty mood since, so something went right.
I was in a great mood.
In a shitty mood because of what happened last night, Michael.
But you know, we buried whatever the hatchet is. Did we? We're sleeping in the same room tonight, so I'll find out.
So we should probably wrap up this podcast, but we are climbing another mountain in just over a day, and it's going to be a really fun video to make because it's a sponsored video. I'll leave it at that. And we're going to be climbing the highest peak of Finland. And after we climb that mountain, Jared and Decky are dropping Michael and I off at the airport, and they've got 3 nights to themselves while Michael and I go to Helsinki. And then we'll end up meeting them up in Tallinn, which is Estonia, right?
Yes.
We'll meet them in Estonia. So
I just want to say, Jared and I have talked about what we can do during the 3 days.
And if you want to find out what that is, check out the BPBs. We might talk about it.
Well, constantly at these fires that we've been having a lot of fires and drinking some beers. We've discussed it a lot. And yeah, we're gonna go over what we have decided on in the BPBs.
Yeah.
So
Really?
if you guys have enjoyed this podcast, make sure you like and comment, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. If you want to know what we talk about later on, we do a little extra segment called the BPBs, bonus podcast bits. You can support us on Patreon. Cost a couple of dollars a month to get all the extra bits. And then also you get to see all the bonus stuff from all our YouTube content for all these travels.
Yeah.
So appreciate if you are
I'm not going to have the talent
money ahead. If not,
Oh.
your time and effort is of watching all this content is really appreciated. Much love, and let's get into the BPBs.
Yeah.
Before
Or death.